Welcome to the Holly Press Fibers Knitting Podcast, Episode 6. I'm Elizabeth and I am coming to you from Northwest Montana. And this is a knitting podcast where I talk about what I'm knitting, any finished objects, and my imaginary knitting, the things that I am either planning on knitting or would love to knit if I had more time. And right now I'm going to go into what I'm wearing, and I have no knitwear on, but that's going to change momentarily. These are my Night Owl fibers. A Boy and an Owl is the name of the colorway, and I made these last year. They're going on my toes right now, and I'm planning on making another pair of shorties with her yarn, but that'll be in imaginary knitting at the end. And she also has her holiday colors available for pre-order right now. I saw in her newsletter that they're up through the end of July. So if you love self-striping yarn, I would say check her out right away. I got mine on DK weight, but she also has fingering sock sets available. So what I've finished a lot, which is shocking because we've had company for 6 weeks, all family company, so easy going. But I will show off first. I only put one of each on a blocker, so you've already seen this little guy, but I finished this one, so now I have a pair, and it has the stitch marker on it from the Shepherd's Hook. So she is on eBay, and I think her Instagram handle is theshepherds_hook. I'll try to put that in the show notes. So this is just a basic 3x1 rib, and it's on my colorway, the Holly Press Fibers More Wonderful Things. So this was part of an Emma sock club earlier in the year. So I'm happy to have these off the needles and ready to wear. And let's see, I did these on, I always forget to mention my needles. I did these Magic Loop size, US size 1, which is 2.25, and that was on my Chalgo. Yeah, I think that's everything. This was the Emma Sock Club. It was for the second quarter. The second quarter of the year, and I do not have any sock clubs coming open for the third quarter, and I'm not planning one for the fourth quarter, at least not yet. I can't say I'm not planning one. I have one in my mind that I want to do. I just don't know if I have the space to do it. So if it comes out, I'll be announcing it on my newsletter, and you can subscribe to that, or I'll probably also put it up on Instagram, although most things usually go through my newsletter when it comes to sock clubs. So if you're wanting a sock club, sign up for my newsletter so you're one of the first to know. Next up is I finished another sock. So I finished this one back in May or June, and I was waiting to do the second one till we had strawberries in our garden because I wanted to do my Donwell strawberries colorway using DanaRaeMakes pattern, which is strawberry basket socks, and I wanted to do that while I was eating fresh strawberries from our garden, which I did. And now the second sock is off the needles, so I have 2 pairs ready to go. But I'm not done yet. And I was going to put it on my blocker, but I'm going to show it off the blocker because here's the first sock I did. This is We Fieldmouse socks by Sarah Kelly, and her Instagram handle is gray_owl_knits. So this is the first one, and it's got little toadstools down on the toes. I got the second one done. I think I'm showing them to you backwards, actually. Now I've got to look at them. this was the first one. So I was just showing you the second one. The reason I'm first and seconding is I think my color work tension got substantially better on the second sock. So I'm very happy about that. And they both have the exact same amount of stretch. So they go on my foot the same, they feel the same, but not being on a blocker and not being on a foot, I think the second one looks more even. So I'm very pleased with that. And part of me is like, oh, I should always keep some color work on the needles, so I keep getting better and better. But I know that won't happen. I do color work sporadically. But I'm pleased that I got better in such a tight round. These were done, I started off with a US size 1, and then her pattern has you do different things to make sure that you have the right amount of ease so you can get it on your foot. She does a great job of explaining what to do and when to do it, so you don't end up with a sock that you can't get on your foot, or you avoid wearing because they're too hard to get on your foot. So 3 pairs of socks are now finished, which means I get to open another stitch marker. If you followed along, you know that this was last year's Advent, and I decided instead of opening one for each year of Advent, or each day of Advent, that I was going to open one each time I finish a project. So I figure 3 finished socks means I can open one. So this is number 16 I'm opening. If I didn't already say it, this is Firefly Notes, and they already are planning their next Advent. It might already be sold out. I didn't buy it this year, but obviously I don't need it if it's taking me this long to open this set. This one is a little ladybug. Now, hopefully I'm gonna line this up okay. The camera's pretty far away, so I have no idea if you can see that. I don't even have the camera facing me, so it's a cute little ladybug. That'll be very, very much loved and used. All right, on to our next thing, which is my works in progress. So I have a blanket that I'm working on for my son, and I'm still working on it very slowly. So in the 5.5, 6 weeks we had company, I got 2 squares done. So nothing really worth showing. I'm thinking maybe by like the end of September, I'll be done adding the orange colorways. It's got a green, an orange, and then a purple. I think I'll be done doing oranges maybe sometime in September, and then I get to start in on the purples. When I start the purples, I'll show you again, because up until then it's gonna look pretty much the same for a very long time, but it's in progress. The other thing I have in progress is my Trelawny top, which is by Tamy Gore, and that also got very little work. I maybe put 1 inch on the body. Straight knitting, not worth showing. It's a beautiful pattern though, because it's got that leaf motif. I love saying that, leaf motif at the top. But I'm not gonna waste your time by showing you that I knit a couple rounds. However, I've got a new cast on, and this is, I'm gonna put this on a blocker actually so you can see the pattern well. This is the Helgen socks by Anna Knitter, and she is on Etsy, so that's where you can find her patterns. And I probably have a couple more pattern repeats that I'll do. Yeah, now that I'm seeing it on the blocker, I'll probably do 3 or 4 more pattern repeats before I start the heel flap and gusset. So very pleased with this. Her pattern is very, very easy to follow. It's not written like other patterns that I've seen, but it was super simple, and she includes all the sizes. So if you have a wee baby that you want to make something for, or somebody with extra long feet or whatever, I don't know if she goes into calf measurements or just foot length. She's very thorough in what to be casting on and each step. So this is sock number 1, and I'm using my ChowGoo, and I'm doing magic loop. Did I say size 1? I'm gonna take a drink. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so ChowGoo, size 1, magic loop, the Helgen socks. She has a knit along going, but I don't know when it ends. And unless it doesn't end until like the end of September, I wouldn't get these in on time. I'm just not that far along. I get about 2 pattern repeats in a day just in the morning, but super enjoyable. This is on my Beatrix Potter, the Mr. McGregor's Garden. So that is how this one knits up. And that colorway is available in the shop right now. Let's see, the other, or I should say the last work in progress. Oh, I'm trying to be really good about saying these things. This project bag is one that my mom made for me. Okay, then this project bag, I'll start off with that, is by Elk Mountain Rags, and that's rags with an R as in Roger, not bags. So Elk Mountain Rags, and in it I have my Night Shift, which is an Andrea Mowry pattern. I started this as actually I started it a year ago and ripped it out, but I just restarted it as part of Ruth Loves to Knit and Fernanda of Little Monkeys and Me. They're doing a shawl make-along. It's a make-along because it's knitting or crocheting, however they're calling it a cal. So it's the Across the Pond shawl knit-along. And the hashtag is all those initials, Across the Pond. So ATPSKAL 2022 or 22. I'll put it down in the description. Not very helpful if I'm making it up as I go. But anyways, so I started this last year, and the reason I ripped it out was I didn't like how tight it was. The I-cord was super tight and there was no stretch to it at all. So I ripped it out. This time I started it going up a needle size. So her pattern calls for size 8, which is 5 millimeters, and I went to a 9. So 9 ChowGoo is a 5.5. And I'm using, mind just, Noro Akari. And her pattern actually calls for spin cycle, but I decided to go with the Noro Akari because it's just getting 2 honking big balls, and I don't have as many skeins to be managing or swapping out. So I've got, I'll put what the colorways are below because I didn't write that down this time. But this is the Akari, which is 500, over 500 yards. I'm gonna say like 520 yards. That sounds right. Her pattern says somewhere around, your total is going to be somewhere around 800 or 900. I should have looked this all up beforehand, guys, I'm sorry. But these are 520ish each, and I've heard a lot of people were using Noro Ito or Ito, and that's a 100% wool. I was afraid it was going to be too scratchy. I was looking online. I didn't have a store to go into at the time that I purchased these. And I got this because its reviews said it was soft. It is made out of silk, cotton, viscose, goat, wool, and nylon. And I just found my note that says it's 528 yards each. So, yeah. Now, I will show you this also. I had to do, you know, like you read ahead in a book to find out, and skip to the last chapter. I had to look at my yarn to see what was going to happen. Up here, I've got blues going off of both balls, so you're not going to see as much contrast. However, this one just has a couple, maybe yards left of the dark blue, and then I'll be on to that more of a yellow color. So we're going to start to see more contrast. This is already a pretty low contrast set that I got. I didn't want something that was going to stand out too much, just something I could wrap around me that was cozy, that would match pretty much everything I wear. So I am just working on this a tiny bit each morning. Their shawl knit along, I think, goes through the end of September. I don't have high hopes that I'll finish this by then, but that's okay. I was just excited to get it back on the needles. I had forgotten about it until Fernanda was talking about what she was going to cast on, and she said she was going to do a night shift, and I was very excited because I'd forgotten that I had everything I needed and that I wanted to use this yarn. I did not want it to sit in my stash forevermore. I wanted to jump back for just a second. I forgot to mention about the I-cord. I had said that I ripped it back because my I-cord was too tight and that I went up one needle size. Well, that wasn't going to quite cut it because it's still going to be a little too tight. So on this edge that has the increases on it, and only on that edge, I'm not doing it on this edge, I looked up Stephen West's tutorial on making a stretchier I-cord edge. And I actually think that's the name of his, the title of the YouTube video is just Stretchier I-cord Edge by Stephen West. And that has made a difference for sure, because now it's got a great stretch. I do his little technique about every 8 or 10 rows, and that's all it needs. So I will try to link that also in the description. That was super helpful to me. I don't have any green room knitting this time. So what I do have is I'm just going to announce that I'm going to be doing a giveaway. I want to have the items here before I show anything off. I have one thing coming that will be in my giveaway, and I'm already up to over 250 subscribers, so I decided now sounds like a good time to do a giveaway. I'll only be announcing it here on YouTube, and I will say, since Instagram can kind of go cattywampus with giveaways, I will be doing nothing through Instagram for a giveaway. So if you get any messages that say they're from me, they are not. So it'll be my next episode that I do the giveaway. So I'll just say like and subscribe, and that way you'll get a notification when I do my next episode, which should be in 2 weeks. It won't be nearly as long as this last time. That was only because I had company and I had nothing to show you, because I was not knitting much at all other than sock knitting, obviously. So yeah, go ahead and like and subscribe, and you will be ready for the next episode, which will have a fun little giveaway in it. So here's my Imagine It, and this is everything that I would either love to be working on or am actually planning to be working on. And that is going to look like, I want to do, DanaRaeMakes has her Christmas in July, which goes through August, thankfully, knit along going, and I want to participate. I have not started anything for it yet. I'm thinking my version of starting, I kept saying I wanted to do Christmas socks because it's Christmas in July, right? But I think it also covers if you are gift knitting. So perhaps I will be doing some gift knitting, which brings me to what it could be. I was thinking for my husband, I could do either one of these. So King Edmund the Just or King Peter the Magnificent. I can't start it right away because both of these are actually sold. They're on pre-order along with all of the other Pevensey siblings. These are all of the Narnia colorways. I'm completely out of Lucy, and I do have some Susan here. So that's Susan. Susan the Gentle, and then Lucy the Valiant. But I was thinking I could do this for him, either make him socks, or he has been asking for a cowl. I can't start it right away because these are called for. Somebody else has them. But that's part of my imaginary knitting. If you have a cowl pattern that you like that would have a double wrap and is fairly plain, I would love to hear about it. My husband wouldn't want anything that draws attention to him. He likes things pretty simple. So if you have any cowl patterns that would fit that, please, please, please comment below and let me know, because I would want to know about it. And okay, I'm going to go on a funny little tangent. He's been helping me a lot in the dye studio. It's about 3 days a week now, full time, that he's working for me, or with me, I should say. He does a lot of the skeining, prepping yarn, rinsing yarn. He basically does everything except for dye the yarn. He's doing so much of the work. And just a couple days ago, I had set up the table with all the yarn that needed labels on it. And so he sat down, he said, well, what do I need to do? And I picked up a skein and I showed him, you take the label and you put it on the side with the sheep, and then you're going to just wrap the two together. I thought that was pretty simple. Mind you, he did all of them and I was standing like 12 feet away. Afterwards, this is what I got. And I didn't even notice it first, but he was like, yeah, you did yours upside down. I just figured you weren't paying attention. I'm like, no, this goes at the bottom. He goes, no, this goes at the top. No, the bottom. Like, that's the bottom. Like, no, the ponytail. It's like having a little bun. Which, it's adorably cute. And he's like, the yarn industry has it all wrong. The bun, or the ponytail, goes at the top. So if you get yarn from me that has this at the top, you know my husband did it. I thought it was too cute because I'd never thought of it as being the ponytail, but it's adorable. So that's my random little tangent. Okay, so next up on my Imagine Knitting is I have 2 options for my Night Owl fibers, and I'm thinking shorty socks. I really want more shorty socks, so it makes sense. So I've either got, this is Most Intelligent Witch, and then this one is Lion Witch Wardrobe. And even though I have this one caked up, I don't know which one I want to do first, because I've got a lot of Narnia theme going right now, and I think it'd be fun to stick with that theme. Which one would you guys cast on? Would you cast on Lion Witch Wardrobe, and then that blue mini is just one out of my stash, or Most Intelligent Witch with a red from my stash? Which would you do? And would you do shorties or would you do a full sock? I'm very indecisive about these. Let me know what you guys think. And if that wasn't enough, because I've already declared that I don't want to have 4 different socks on the needle at the same time again like I did earlier, I want to get ease on the needles. And I am thinking this will just be a vanilla sock. At the very most, a 3x1 rib at the max. But I want to get these on. This is a Christmas colorway that went out as part of a pre-order for Christmas in July, and I will have this back in the shop. Again, newsletter. If you sign up for my newsletter, you'll know when. It's going to be soon-ish. I can't remember what my August schedule is looking like, but I know in August this is going to be happening, and all of the Narnia siblings will be, they're currently up for pre-order, but they'll be back in the shop. This I don't have on pre-order yet. Yeah. Okay. So there's a bunch of imaginating. I don't think they're all going to happen right away. I do definitely think Night Owl fibers, I'll get one of those started. My husband's socks or cowl, please comment on cowl patterns, needs to happen. I want it to happen simply because DanaRaeMakes has her Christmas in July going. Christmas socks I want to happen. I don't know that they actually will. But every single other plan I have mentioned, imaginating or what I'm currently working on, I'm pretty close to tossing everything out the window, out the door, over the balcony, all of it. Because we have 5 babies that have come into the world in the last 2 months. We've had years with no weddings, no babies. But now we have, my niece just had a baby, our cousin just had a baby, 2 family friends just had a baby, and another friend over Instagram just had a baby, and we know more babies are happening. So, I was trying to think this one through, and my husband pointed out that one of the families truly could care less about getting a knitted sweater. Cross that one off the list. Another one, I know that she has family members, my family members, that will be knitting for this baby, taken care of. And I've knit something. So that's good. Don't think I need to make a sweater there. So I'm basically checking off people that either would appreciate a knitted sweater, or they already have knitworthy, not knitworthy, that was the first one. They either have somebody in their family that will knit for them, or they would appreciate God, get my qualifiers right. You get the idea. They have to appreciate it and not have a knitter in their life. So that brings me down to 2 baby sweaters. What pattern? I'm asking a lot of you guys this time. I need cowl patterns. I need you to choose between my Night Owl fibers and baby sweater patterns. I've been looking at Tin Can Knits, just their flax pattern. Flax light. Yep, flax light. Do you have other suggestions? What's out there? I've done no garment knitting for a baby, so I want to know what is a good pattern, easy to follow, but also one that is like tried and true. People have made it, they know it fits, because I would feel horrible to give this to somebody and then be like, yeah, the baby cried the entire time. I put it over the baby's head and then we cut it off the baby after the picture. That would be horrible. So if you have any suggestions, I'd definitely love to hear those too. So that's a lot of imaginary knitting. Just know that I'm scrapping 90% of it. It's all imaginary, right? That's why it's there. But thank you for joining me, and just know that all of the Pevensey siblings, the Narnia, will be pre-order. And the current pre-order is going out the first week of August, so it's not an actual like hardcore wait. You just order it now so I know how many to make. And yes, that's it. Thank you for joining me, and if you left a comment below, thank you so much for your suggestions and any help you've given me in all of these decisions. I hope that you have a great rest of your week. Bye.